Ladies and gentlemen, today's video starts off a little different than most. And if any of you have ever seen uploads published by the liberal hive mind, then you'll probably recognize this format and the reference. As we begin with a meme, let's call it the meme of the day for shits and giggles here. And as you see on your screen, there's a crowd of sheep, an audience, if you will. And just look, what do we have here behind the lectern? Well, would you look at that? It's a motherfucking wolf, folks. And this just tickles me because I laughed so hard when I first saw this. And it was earlier today. My mom shared this with me right before she said, and I'll paraphrase here. She tells me, Kevin, New York City is f***ed. They're done, cooked. The notion, the very idea, the premise, as ridiculous as it is to us normal, sane, logically thinking folks who understand common sense and can tell the difference between piss and rain. I don't even know what my IQ is, but I know a lie and an empty campaign promise when I hear it. As the wolf proclaims to the sheep, once elected, I will be a vegetarian. Yeah, but you know what? You know what's even funnier than that? The real joke here that I can't stop laughing at is how people believed him and voted for him. But wait, this is the best part. He isn't even mayor yet, not until January 1 of 2026. So for now, he's just mayor-elect. But I shit you not, within 72 hours of getting the city to believe the greatest lie, that the devil doesn't exist, he's already switching on them now that he's got them hooked by the balls on the bait. And I know you all have seen his rooftop video where he's begging for money and donations for his transition. But if you haven't seen this latest reel that has been sending chills down landlords and tenants' backs, a video that has been shared with me too many times for me to count by subscribers filling my inbox and sending me private DMs, well, then you're in store for quite the treat. Brace yourself, folks. Grab your popcorn if you don't live in NYC, but if you do and you're a resident of the Big Apple, well, then you're going to want to make sure you're sitting down for this one.
Starting on day one, we will expand the city's special enforcement programs, doubling fines for hazardous violations and tripling them for conditions that are immediately dangerous. And when a really bad landlord, like this guy, refuses to fix it, the city's going to step in, make the repairs, and send them the bill.
Okay, watch next.
If that doesn't work, the city's taking over the building. We're putting the worst landlords out of business.
He says, we're going to take over the building.
So it's theirs. It's the city's.
So you mean like seize the means of production,
That's
like
exactly
communists?
Wait a
it.
minute.
So he's saying the quiet part out loud,
Yes.
and people voted for it.
That's right.
Remember the old rule, ignore everything before the but? Well, Zohran Mamdani has already begun weaponizing his position, and it's not even January 1 yet. Heed the warnings. Listen up, folks. Landlords, especially you, because your building is the casualty here. And he starts, sweet, of course, talking to tenants, mold in your walls, broken elevators, kids getting sick. We're going to fix this. Feels good, right? Makes the crowd go wild. Hero stuff. That was the bait. Now here's the switch. Then comes the pivot. Ignore everything before the but, because here's the line that should really make your skin crawl and your blood boil. Landlords, pay attention. That's not a suggestion by your new mayor. That's a threat. He says, don't fix the mold. We double the fines. You still don't fix it. Then the city steps in, does the work, and sends you the bill. Can't pay? We put a lien on your building. Yeah. Whew, still can't pay. But wait, there's more. We foreclose. We take it. It becomes a government asset. And let me say that again, folks. Your building becomes city property, and now Zohran owns it and is the de facto landlord. I mean, it sounds like that's what it sounds like to me. And just to make sure you can't pay, He's freezing rents on 2 million apartments. No increases. 4 years, no increases. Zero. You need a new boiler? Yeah, that's about 150 large. Elevator overhaul? 300 grand. Roof? At least $500,000. Insurance just jumped 30%. Property taxes up 8.5%, but your rent stands still. Frozen solid, like a deer in headlights. And so you do the math. You can't raise rent. You can't afford the repairs. Okay, take out a loan. Deplete your retained earnings until the day comes when you can't afford it anymore. You've pretty much stretched yourself thin. And the city does the work anyway. Sends you the invoice. You default. They seize. This isn't enforcement. This is a mob-like shakedown with the paperwork to back it up. They'll call it public stewardship. I call it theft with a smile. And so you miss one deadline, one punch list item, one hazardous violation, and boom, the lien is filed. That lien sits on your title like a cancer. Banks won't refinance, buyers won't touch it, and you're trapped. And then the city does the repair anyway. I mean, he's blatantly said this, folks. He sends you the bill, and so if you can't pay, then what? Foreclosure. Your life's work gone. The brownstone your parents bought in 78, seized. The 6-unit in Queens that you paid off with 30 years of blood, sweat, and tears and overtime, gone. The Harlem walk-up your widow aunt lived on for rent income, now belongs to and taken over by the city of New York, care of Zohran Mamdani. This isn't regulation. This is government theft and seizure with a hijab and a badge. You voted for tenant protection. You got property seizure instead. This is pretty much like the horror stories from the HOAs and how I've heard all over the country, and you've seen them, how liens lead to foreclosures and people losing their homes, their investments, their assets, their dreams, what they've worked so hard for, their property. Now, call it eminent domain if you want, but it's stolen by the government you voted for and becomes property of the city of New York, care of Zohran Mamdani. Your investment, your retirement, your legacy, stolen by the government you elected. Step 1, force the repair. Step 2, block the revenue, rent freeze. Step 3, seize the asset. And step 4, repeat until every brownstone, every 6-flat, every duplex, every mom and pop rental is city-owned housing. This isn't about slumlords. This is about you. The guy with 4 units in Queens, the widow who inherited a walk-up in Harlem, the legal immigrant family that scraped together 3 buildings in the Bronx chasing the American dream. You're not the villain. No. You're the target. New York just voted to turn your life's work into a government piggy bank. And Zohran is coming with the hammer to break it open and take it all. Mamdani isn't coming for the bad guys. He's coming for you, the vulnerable, the entrepreneur, the hard worker. Oh, and your deed. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Now, folks, let me ask you, if Zohran is openly, blatantly telling landlords he'll get the city to do this to them, then just imagine what Mamdani will do to tenants. Zohran Mamdani already announcing he will begin confiscating New York business owners' property and having the government take ownership is fucking nuts. But as I live and breathe, and just when I thought he couldn't go and do anything dumber, he totally redeems himself. And I want you to watch this. And please, if you would, can somebody tell me in the comments, why is a Muslim mayor openly joining an LGBT pride march?
Right here.
something doesn't add up. And speaking of the math not mathing, I do want to show you this one here, and how women who walk around saying they need a safe space just voted 80% for the guy who told you he was going to empty out prisons.
Women voters, 84% of women under 30, 65% of women 30 to 34 voting blue, 81% of women voted for Mamdani. They can't even tell you why they voted for him.
How you feel about Zohran winning?
I'm happy about it.
Why are you happy about it?
I don't know. I don't really know. I just do.
Really?
Yeah, because I keep seeing all the like cute TikToks of him like partying and clubbing, and honestly, he's like one for the people, you know?
That's why you support him?
Yeah.
And enjoy your breadlines. 80% of young women voted in New Jersey for Cheryl. 78% voted for Spanberger in Virginia. These, in large part, are the same women that will stand out there and tell you, I don't feel safe, while casting a ballot for the guy who just promised to empty out the prisons and that violence is a social construct.
We've even found as legislators, when we go into these courts, the term violent crime is even used when people are stealing packages. Violent crime is even used when people are accused of burglary and there happens to be a housing unit in that same dwelling. So violence is an artificial construction.
This is another thing that Republicans have sat idly by on, too. The left has turned women against strong male figures. They have gotten women to vote on emotion and not policy by making anyone who criticizes Democrats, oh, they're mean and racist, and women don't want to do that. But God forbid, when one of these women is in danger originated by and is driven in large part by the stupid policies that they vote for, those same liberal women will absolutely call someone like me or someone else that's alpha when they need to be defended. And when those men do defend them, once they're safe and sound, of course, they turn around and they put them on trial like they did with Daniel Penny. That is the mindset of the modern liberal women. This is why I hate liberal women. This is why I say liberal white women are the biggest threat to America. They will literally vote for their own destruction and take everyone down with them. The left has carefully co-opted this self-hate by telling them, in large part in our educational system, that the feminist model of we don't need a man is the gold standard to such an extent that they have Stockholm syndrome and will reflexively vote 80% for the people literally marching their safety off of a cliff.
You can't make this shit up, folks. Zohran Mamdani, the now mayor-elect of New York City, actually said prisons don't make us safer because they just remove the problem from view.
The way that prisons are set up in our society, I would argue that they do not work. They do not make us safer. The instinct is to just take that person, the source of that harm, the source of that issue, and then just throw them away. Put them in a cage and throw away the key. That doesn't address the reason why that harm was created in the first place. A lot of times, people who create trauma for others are those who themselves went through trauma earlier in their own lives. Right. And I bring all of this up to say that, you know, again, like when we talk about policing, I don't think this system actually makes us safer. I think what it does is it just removes problems out of view. It just...
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. From someone who actually lives in the ghetto, not in a gated socialist fantasy. Gene Robinson shares real truth, facts, and how when a man is shot on the corner, when kids are ducking behind cars from stray bullets, when mothers are burying their sons while the killers roam free because the clearance rate is 17%, you don't need a lecture about empathy. What you need is accountability. Prison doesn't remove the problem from view. It removes predators from our neighborhoods. It gives the innocent a chance to breathe again. Only someone who's never heard gunfire at 2 a.m. could believe what Mamdani said. He doesn't speak for the people. He speaks for the criminals. But New York, voting for Zohran Mamdani as mayor, is voting for more of this.
I don't even know what to say at this point. I had to get off the train, past my stop, because there was a guy who was following me from car to car. And when I tried to get off at my stop, which was pitch dark, he held it open to see if I was going to get off. So I had to get off the stop after And then when I got off the stop after, I hopped on the next train that was going the other direction, and I got on an express train, and I was back on the other side of the tracks. Hold on. New York City is not safe. It's not safe for women, okay? I am so sick and tired of having to look over my shoulder 24/7, not just at night, during the day, at all hours. I'm sick and tired of it.
That woman just had to take multiple trains in Manhattan because men keep following her. New York City is not safe. It's not safe for women and will only get worse with Zohran in charge and Mamdani at the helm. Feckless democratic socialist leadership brings pure lawlessness.
You guys, I was literally just walking and a man came up and punched me in the face. Oh my God, it hurts so bad. Out of nowhere, this man just came up and hit me in the face.
I literally just got punched by some man on the sidewalk. He goes, sorry, and then punches me.
Oh my actual God, I literally just got punched in the face by a homeless man. Like, I just got punched in the face on the subway.
And I regret to inform you all, but hey, NYC ladies, Mamdani hates police and prisons, so you can look forward to more of this. But it's not just the pretty little white American Christian girls. No. Prepare to have your mind blown and listen and watch as this Mamdani supporter complains that she never experienced true oppression until she converted to Islam, and says how before she was just a white woman. Now she faces oppression and dehumanization on a daily basis. People look at her differently. Well, no shit.
People make being Muslim such a viscerally unpleasant experience. I was so excited when I first found Islam, like the comfort that I found in praying, the joy that I felt when I read Quran. The experience of like wearing hijab and like getting closer to God was so beautiful for me. And then over the year that I've been a hijabi, just noticing how different people treat me, the dehumanization that Muslims experience, the microaggressions that I get on the daily. I know that I've never experienced it because before I'm just like a white woman. I know that this is like the first adversity that I'm like experiencing in my life. Boo freaking who, I know. I hate when people are just like, oh, you became Muslim to become oppressed. Who wants to be oppressed except for like white evangelicals? I would much prefer that people were just like kind and accepting, know that what I'm experiencing isn't even like a drop in the water of how like violent and genocidal Islamophobia is and Islamophobes are. All of Islamophobia is a direct result of the billions of dollars that has gone into spreading anti-Islam hate. I can't practice my religion without also understanding that people are going to treat me poorly, like I'm going to experience discrimination. Ever so freaking slowly it's changing. And I just have to remember that I am part of the process of changing people's minds about Islam. And that can be like a really big burden to bear sometimes.
So brace yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, and you can thank all women who voted Mamdani, now putting themselves at greater risk for rape crimes. And Mamdani won't use police to save you either. He's defunding police, or what little police will be left come January 1, as it has been confirmed. Fellow Independent shares how they spoke to at least 6 NYPD officers, and they told him that many of the rank and file have already started to put their early retirement papers in and are actively looking for departments in North Carolina, Tennessee, and Florida. All thanks to Zohran Mamdani getting elected. And he's ignoring crime as he empties prisons, just like how he ignored women being raped in Egypt because it's the culture. Now, you're going to get that culture allowed in NYC because, fun fact, Zohran Mamdani admitted to watching women being raped in Egypt and not intervening on grounds of cultural relativism. But all those funds he'll be stealing from landlords and redirecting away from police precincts will be going to pay for his dream of continuing to deep dive into the Mamdani era of deceit, mayhem, and dystopia. Mamdani wants $65 million for gender-affirming care, including for children. Mamdani is a liar, a fraud, and a hypocrite, or at least he was while on the campaign trail to some degree. Now he's letting all the cats out of all the bags. He wants to create an office of LGBTQIA plus affairs with NYC as a sanctuary city. Yet his Shia Muslim religion demands homosexuals be executed. But I know, some of you all may be wondering, asking yourselves, Kevin, what happened? Why the sudden change from Mamdani post-mayoral election victory? And that's a great question. But the answer just might shock you. And I've got the answer for you right after this. All right, y'all, let's hit pause for a second because this matters and it's really important. We talk a lot on this channel about taking control of your life, making smart choices, and not letting the system overwhelm you. But when it comes to navigating Medicare, it can feel like you're wading through a swamp of total confusion. Plans, coverage, costs, deadlines, you name it. And that's where Chapter steps in. They're not just another company. They're the real deal when it comes to free Medicare help. Chapter's team of advisors has helped thousands of people across the country find the right Medicare plan, and they do it with one goal in mind, putting you first. No fees, no pressure, just honest guidance to make sure you're covered without breaking the bank. Big insurance companies have their own agendas, but Chapter's got your back, fighting to get you the plan that works for you. So if you're approaching Medicare age or helping a loved one figure it out, don't go it alone. Call Chapter today at 270-467-2426 and start getting the clarity you deserve. Because at the end of the day, protecting your health and your wallet, well, that's not just smart. It's living life on your terms. And so you see, the governor of the state of New York, Ms. Kathy Hochul, just said this right now about Zohran K. Mamdani's free bus promise and how she cannot set forth a plan right now that takes money out of a system that relies on the fares of the buses and the subways. Before she's then pressed on tax the rich chants.
Well, like I said, I'm from Buffalo. We don't put up with a lot of crap. So I just want to set the stage that, you know, you look at the history of people who've run multi-million-dollar ad campaigns to try and get me to change my position. I don't change my position. So I just want to put it out there. I respect people's opinions. I respect the proper place to convey them. And so I've said to people, I hear you. And that was important. But also, there's a time and place. And so that's all on that. No, I've had conversations on this trip, but many conversations, I'd say over the summer and the fall, that were important, that led to an understanding of what's in the realm of possibility, shared ambitions, but what is doable is the question. And so, no, we're aligned on so many of these issues. You know, I've made it clear where I have strong disagreements with issues that really do not pertain to, you know, the governance of New York City. I've said you need to get a police commissioner that people trust, who has a record of accomplishment to keep the trajectory that we're on right now, which is crime is going down. Crime is going down significantly. You don't say mission accomplished, but that is a great trend. So him agreeing with that assessment, that recommendation to keep Jessica Tisch, was an important statement on many fronts. So I'm looking forward to, you know, having our teams keep a lot of conversations with our teams. We said we'd be talking, you know, I'm meeting him very soon to talk about our response if there is a surge of ICE agents and National Guard that do come, perhaps after his inauguration, and how we can be proactive in preventing that from happening. Yeah. And that's the state I'm in right now, prevent that from happening. So we've had a lot of conversations. So no, I think there's a mutual respect. And that's gonna, I think, only grow deeper.
So that's a
keep up tight, guys. Bond and banner work.
Perfect transition. You have recommended that he.
And so you see, if Zohran can't tax the rich to fund his socialist nightmare, then he has to get creative on how and where he's going to get the money from to execute his master plan.
Excuse me, sir, I have a question. So I saw on the bus it said, and I see the sign that says fares required. I thought the buses were supposed to be free now because, Mamdani just won.
That's funny. That's a good one.
When does that start?
That's never going to stop.
Never going to happen?
That was fucking
all right, well, I want to say I appreciate what you do, my guy.
funny.
All right, have a good one, my guy. Listen, you are the heart and soul, the backbone of New York. Stay safe.
I don't care if you come off for free.
I
got you.
W man, thank you, bro. Have a good one.
I've been doing free buses before, Mamdani. I'm the man.
Yes, sir. All right, you got to run for the next election. I'll vote for you.
The bus driver laughs and says, "That's funny. That's a good one. That's never going to happen." And all these dumb ass leftists got lied to again. They'll never learn. They want to eat and tax the rich, complain about Tesla brainchild CEO compensations in the trillions, but all while burying their own heads in the sand in order to turn a blind eye to their own hypocrisy.
Here's a question for Donald Trump as he forces airlines to cancel thousands and thousands of flights. Why is he starting first with the commercial planes that we all use to go visit our families or get where we need to for work? Every day, thousands of private jets take off, carrying CEOs, billionaires, and the 1%, and they take up the work of the air traffic control system too. Wouldn't it make more sense to cancel the planes that carry the fewest passengers first? It's just another example of who Donald Trump really cares about, and it isn't us.
Yeah. Attack the private jet owners, operators, and passengers. And that woman's a real piece of work, but we'll save her for a whole nother video. But for now, oh, look, what do we have here? Is this New York City Mayor-elect Zohran and the socialist firebrand poster child? And Zohran Mamdani's first order of business as mayor-elect was jet-setting to Puerto Rico for a 6-day stay at the ritzy Caribe Hilton in San Juan. Average nightly rate, $700 to $800. And he probably got down there pretty quick, too, by taking a G5 or a G6 private jet. Suckers. And we have another one of the left's own and possibly worst offenders.
And I understand why people are angry about the economy, especially in New York. And yet, just had Kenny Chesney here. I don't know what his ticket prices are, but I know what typical ticket prices are that people are paying, and not just billionaires. Taylor Swift's average ticket price is over $4,000. But other ones, average ticket price is $500, $600, $700, or baseball games, or basketball. Explain this economy. How some people are eating $36 cheeseburgers. They don't do what you do.
Not
though.
me.
Not you. We know that. You're pure. And other people are voting for socialism. And I understand why they're voting for socialism, because they can't even make ends meet, and they're worried about eating at all.
But this is just nuts. Totally insane. Mind you, that crazy cat lady and Tim Walz and Kamala Harris endorser is worth north of almost more than $2 billion. But yeah, so there's that. And this is where I leave you, folks, with New Yorkers getting totally bent over and pounded in the ass. No lube, no dinner, not even a kiss or a thank you. All because Zohran lied, it seems, and Governor Hochul isn't going to give him free rein to tax the rich, the billionaires, her donors, and wreck her political future with his socialist suicide.
Elections, and they will be there next November. Not just in New York City, but all across New York, where Democrats won all over New York State.
So can I ask you about these policies where you differ? Because it's going to matter for New York State and for your bid to remain governor. And when you talked again about distinguishing yourself in terms of your views from those of Mamdani and yourself as a moderate, right? His agenda is incredibly ambitious. It is, as he has described it, a democratic socialist agenda. Free childcare, free buses, rent freeze. The list goes on. I talked to him on Monday night. He said to me he hasn't wavered 1 millimeter on raising taxes on New York City's wealthiest residents to pay for some of that. Now, Governor, you have said repeatedly that you would not raise taxes. You said, quote, "I've said there's no new income taxes." Do you stand by that promise?
Yes. Again, What I find so fascinating is all this conversation about how I'm continuing to lead New York State. I'm the one putting money back in people's pockets and cutting middle-class taxes, as I've done, and finding ways to support child care. These are areas where I'm aligned with Zohran Mamdani. And we'll work on this and build more housing so people can have a roof over their heads in New York City. But contrast that with Elise Stefanik, who has voted with Donald Trump time and time again to hurt people of our state. Now, she wants to take that record and run for governor, especially as we've seen this national trend of rejection of Trump policies. So I don't think there's a path at all. I know how to govern. I know how to do this. I will work with the mayor of New York City to deliver for people on affordability, public safety. I'm going to make sure that our streets and our subways remain safe, and I'll work in cooperation with him. He agreed with keeping the current Commissioner of Police, Jessica Tisch, who's doing a phenomenal job because our crime rates are plummeting. So that was an important step forward toward understanding that we can work on this together. I am not, unlike Elise Stefanik and Donald Trump, going to do anything to hurt New York City or New York State.
Governor Hochul, thanks very much. Appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you.
Another near lethal blow to Mamdani's free-for-all promises just happened. His promises to Trump-proof NYC requires a huge amount of money, and his primary means to achieve it was said to be raising taxes. Kathy Hochul just confirmed there's no chance she'll raise taxes.
I didn't even realize how much I needed this, how much we needed this. I'm not even a voting New Yorker anymore, but seeing Mamdani win, I'm sobbing into my breakfast because he just did what Kamala couldn't do, which is unite people across the spectrum of compassion. He was able to unite people on the grounds that there should be no more, and there will be no more space held for anti-Semitism or Islamophobia, for people absolutely being trampled on by billionaires and the 1% who are hoarding so much of our country's wealth, so much of our people's wealth, so much of our ability to live well, to afford groceries, to afford homes. I'm really good at coping. I'm really good at taking care of myself and of letting myself experience, news of the world without getting totally toppled by it all the time, without feeling angry all the time, because I have really amazing outlets for that for myself. But I think the floodgates that just released in my heart, seeing Mamdani win, tells me that I've been holding it a lot. So thank you to Mamdani and his team, and to everyone who voted for him, to everyone who turned this tidal wave, because I think a lot of us today are experiencing a release and, feelings of hope that people will be taken care of, feelings of hope that the oligarchy will not win, that oppression will not win, that authoritarianism will not win. This is a bright spot that I think a lot of us didn't even let ourselves get hopeful for. That just happened. And it really means that we can change. We can turn this country around. And it really means that we can bring power back into the hands of the people, and bring rights back to people, and bring money back to people, and bring food back to people, and bring healthcare and access back to the people. As a mom, this is a really good day for my kid. Even though we don't live in New York, I kind of do. But my family does. I'm so grateful. Thank you, New Yorkers. Thank you, Mamdani. Today is a really good day. And I'm feeling hope I haven't let myself feel in a really long time.
No, Mamdani's not coming to save you. It was all lies. He's the wolf, foaming at the mouth, salivating at the very sight of so many dumb sheep, thinking to himself, there's no way they'd believe me or fall for this. And yet here we are. They sure did. The Dems fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. All the Trump haters and TDS sufferers, you've made your bet. Now lay in it. Even Pete Buttigieg had enough sense to stay far enough away from this shit show.
Did you support Mamdani? Did you support him? Did you come out publicly for him, or you have concerns?
I'm not getting directly involved in that race or endorsing or anything like that.
You're going to duck globalize the intifada bullet. I mean, that is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
That's that's a problem. He's got a lot of views that, I mean, it's no surprise or secret that he is further left than I am in the Democratic coalition. That said, I was a 29-year-old mayor that a lot of people wrote off and didn't take seriously, and was able to get big things done. So
we're going to
I expect that he's going to win. And
socialist experiment in what was at least before the greatest city in America and one of the greatest cities in the world.
Well, the thing about winning is you get a chance to find out very quickly how good your ideas are and whether they'll have the results you have in mind. And, that's something that I expect that he'll win, and then we'll all get to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see when that 54% tax hits. Like, if people are like, you know what, Miami and Texas look pretty great, and maybe I'm going to bounce.
But keep it up, libtards. Meanwhile, all these demon rats keep laughing all the way to the bank with your money.
I know having a glam team, a trifecta, it feels like a luxury, but it was a time necessity.
Yes.
There's absolutely no way that I would be able to do my hair and makeup and have clothes ready that fit, because rare is the woman that can live off the rack.
Yes.
And while Zohran scrambles to figure out his bullshit plan in New York, while the island sinks, crashes, and burns, we're all over here getting ready for something real that creates not only affordability, but sustainable affordability that doesn't involve ripping people off, stealing from the rich, or bankrupting landlords to steal their property and their tenants.
Yo, guys, what's up? I think you know where we are right here, and I want to give you an update on something that I think is absolutely critical. I just spent 4 hours going over one of the biggest problems in our country. The ability for young people to buy homes, get their piece of the American dream. It's something that's been lost, and it's something we're going to get back. It's so critically important for families to have a place to raise their children, for men to have a place to bring their wives home to after getting married, for legacy, for equity in the American dream, for having a piece, a physical piece of the American dream, housing. It is the promise of America. It's foundational, woven into our founding documents, life, liberty, and the pursuit of property. And it's something that we are going to reclaim for young people and for first-time home buyers and for people that want to say, America is my homeland, and I'm going to make the American dream happen for my American family and my American children. And ladies and gentlemen, that's what we're going to do. Very, very exciting stuff to announce. Thrilled about it. God bless you all. Let's go make housing great again.
Take care, y'all. Have a great night. Stay safe. Please share this video and subscribe if you liked it. And God bless you all.